we could owe Wigan Athletic 300 grand. Well, here we go, back again with another match preview. Yes, for Tuesday's game at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland take on Swindon Town. Yes, Swindon Town have been in a quite decent run of form of late. The last three matches been quite impressive. They beat Crewe Alexandra, who we couldn't beat yesterday, and to be fair, we should never have gotten a point in a million month of Sundays, but we did. We got a point with two absolutely world-class goals. Brilliant finishes from Jordan Jones, Chris Maguire, super subs, came on, saved the day, saved Sunderland's blushes. It wouldn't be a big surprise? Would it be a big shock? Would it, if we lost against Crewe? It would have, really. Let's think about it. It would have. Regardless, even though we know we're a League One team, we're in League One for a reason with a League One, you know, bang average set of players. To be big scheme of things, it wouldn't have been a massive shock if Crewe had gone on to victory yesterday. It would have been very disappointing, very disappointing. And while I'm here, why does it look like there's a tree growing on my wall behind us? I've stripped all the wallpaper off, stripped the ceiling, and I've got a tree. Somebody's decided to paint a tree under the wallpaper. Strange, definitely strange. But anyway, we'll get back to the match. Yes, Sunderland versus Swindon Town. Now, Swindon beat Northampton yesterday 2-1. I think they came from a goal behind. The game before that, they beat Lincoln 2. Sorry, they didn't. The game before that, they drew against Lincoln 2-2. And Lincoln lost yesterday against a very good Plymouth side. I think they got beat 4-3 eventually. So that was a massive surprise. And the game before, like I said, they beat Crewe. So the last three games, they have amassed 7 points, Swindon. So that's decent. That's a good return for Swindon Town. Now, sitting in the table, we're in 5th place. You know, the results kind of went our way a little bit. Hull won. Now, Hull are in 3rd place, but we do have 2 games in hand over Hull. Now, the games in hand really count at this moment in time, and the way things are, home and away form. There's no comparison, home and away. It's all sort of blended into the same kind of form, to be fair. Whether you're at home or away, there's no advantage with no crowds. So games in hand. It would be nice to have games in hand over everybody, but we don't. We have games in hand only over Hull. Hull have played 32, we've played 30. Lincoln and Peterborough now, I think, have gone. Peterborough are gone, uncatchable now. Who's been drawn on my new windowsills? Me? Bloody pen mark. That's better. Get rid of that pen mark. Naughty me! I'll put a pen on my new windowsill. Right, as I was saying, I get interrupted. Yeah, sometimes I think I've got like a very short attention span. Right, so yes, 7 points out possible 9 for Swindon. Swindon's no pushover. There'll be no pushover at all. Decent side. We're in 5th place, played 30 games. Sunderland have won 13 and drawn 12. That's our nemesis again. Like under Jack Ross, exactly the same as under Jack Ross. We've drawn a lot of games so far this season. We've only lost 5. We've lost the least amount of games in the league this season out of any team. So, to be fair, yesterday's, miraculous, and I'm going to say this, miraculous comeback, because we were absolutely shocking. That was the worst game of football I have seen Sunderland play this season. The first half was terrible. And what on earth was Lee Johnson doing starting Josh Scowen? Josh Scowen's been terrible this season. And as much as I want the lad to succeed, he doesn't deserve to start a game for Sunderland. He's not good enough for me. He's been poor most of the season. And the old chestnut excuse saying that we'll put Grant Ledbetter on the bench because was it because you can't play 3 matches in a week? And why can't you play 3 matches in a week until your form dips? Maybe you should keep on playing the games. Or he was carrying the shoulder injury. Now, if you're carrying the shoulder injury, why on earth are you on the bench? Why on earth are you even in the squad? You should be rested, full stop. Now, if a guy's injured, if you got a guy like Grant Ledbetter, who's been one of our best players easily this season, who's injured, who's carrying an injury, I don't want him in the squad. I don't mind having this guy fully recovering for the back end of the season. But no, we have this, why do we have this thing of playing players, putting them on the bench when they're not fully fit? We've got a massive squad. We've got plenty of players that can come in from the under-23s. It doesn't have to be risking players like Grant Ledbetter. It's too late now, it's gone. Now for me, I'm all about, I know what will be, but sometimes you make your own luck. And Lee Johnson didn't. Lee Johnson, for the first time, he's made a few mistakes in his managerial career, and he's only young, and we'll give him that, But it was a big mistake yesterday, leaving Grant on the bench for me. And it was even a bigger mistake having him at all in the squad if he is carrying a shoulder injury. Now he could be out for weeks and weeks with a collarbone or shoulder injury. And he could miss the final. He's bound to miss the final now, which must be awful. I mean, you wanted Ledbetter to be at Wembley. If not on the bench, not starting on the bench. You wanted him to be there. He had a point to prove. He wants Sunderland to do what they didn't do 2 seasons ago. And to be fair, we might be Wembley twice this season. You just don't know. So I do wish Grant Ledbetter a speedy recovery, but I do think it was a rookie mistake leaving him on the bench. It was a rookie mistake starting Scowen, who isn't a good player. He hasn't been good this season. And on Tuesday night against Swindon, I would rather start Winchester and let this lad come in than start Josh Scowen. But it's not a vendetta against Josh Scowen, just what I've seen. I watch and I do live commentaries of every single match, and he gives the ball away. He cannot run with the ball, cannot pass the ball, so why is he in the starting lineup? Maybe it's towards the back end of the game when players are getting tired. He can come on and use his energy, a fresh pair of legs. Fair enough, but for starting a match yesterday, we were shocking, and you have to put the players to blame as well as Lee Johnson. It was a bad day at the office, but you don't want too many bad days at the office because the season is going to run out of games. We don't want to take things lightly, think we're going to beat these smaller clubs, because we're not. Crewe yesterday, for me, deserved a victory, but they didn't. We grasped defeat away, and we got a draw, if that makes any sense. But anyway, score predictions over the last couple of days. Let's have a look at it. There's a big list for the people who's getting the correct scores. Out of the 2 games, Fleetwood and Crewe. Crofty FC, Spencer Bodie, Aidan McCoy, Tane SFC. Don't forget to pop over to Tane's channel after this video, and please subscribe to his channel. Let's get him over 500 subscribers. Knightsy, Michael Lucas, Connor, Jonathan Ryan, It's Spooky, Wolf, Nigel S, Stuart Purvis, Daniel Muir, Mandy Max 16 and David B. Yes, they all got the correct score, one or the other. Now, I got the correct scores. This was me. I got the correct score as well. I said 2-0 Fleetwood, didn't I? So obviously, me too. I got the correct score. Have you got the sporting knowledge, the brain to get the correct score against Swindon? Now, I'm not going to take Swindon lightly, but I'm going to say, right, we need to bounce back. If that means starting Winchester, if that means, because Ledbetter's out, if that means going to the formation of 3-4-3. Some said we started 3-4-3 yesterday, but for me it was a 4-3-3. It didn't look like a 3-4-3 yesterday, but I don't know exactly what the formation was. Not many people do, but it's interchangeable. You can move it around. Lee Johnson's flexible that way. The players need to stand up for themselves now. They need to stand up for what they believe in. They need to stand up for Sunderland. We need now to start taking games by the scruff of the neck, like we did against Doncaster, like we did, against Burton. We need more of them kind of results. Crewe, were in our faces yesterday. We did not know what time of day it was, and you have to give respect for Crewe for playing that kind of football, for doing that well. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win against Swindon. I'm going to hope that somehow we can get a good start, we can get in the faces. That means starting Jordan Jones and Chris Maguire, who came on the bench for super subs, and bring a little bit different, a bit of difference to the starting lineup. Possibly that could happen. That's what might happen. So yeah, I'm open for a little bit of change. It wasn't a winning team, so we're allowed to change it. For me, you don't change a winning side. The side against Fleetwood should have started against Crewe yesterday, and that's where the rookie mistake comes into play. Now, a little bit of extra news is we could owe Wigan Athletics £300,000 at the end of the season. Yes, we could owe Wigan Athletic 300 grand. Promoted to the Championship because of the clauses in the contracts of Will Grigg and Max Power, who we have bought from Wigan. Obviously, Max Power doing okay as captain, but Will Grigg gone on to pastures new to MK Dons. And I hope Will Grigg scores every bloody game for MK Dons. That means his price tag might go up a little bit more when we sell him and recuperate a little bit more of that money. Now, Mickey Gray has had a meeting with Louis-Dreyfus, and he says Louis-Dreyfus is in for the long haul. He likes what he's heard, what he's spoken to Louis about. He says he's a good young lad, good head on his shoulders, and he really thinks he's going to take us up and up. So Mickey Gray, you know, been the Sunderland stalwart for years, Sunderland fan, you know, he just loves Sunderland. So if that's what Mickey Gray says, Mickey Gray didn't like the Donald regime, and he spoke his mind about the Donald regime. He believes in Louis-Dreyfus, and if that's the case, then I believe him as well, because I think I take Mickey Gray, what Mickey Gray says, you know, for me, I like that bloke, you know, good Sunderland lad, good Sunderland player, and you know, so if he believes in Crewe, then I'll take his word for it. I've got to believe in Crewe as well. And a little bit of news, obviously, as well. Lee Johnson, yes, Lee Johnson is going to try and tie down Luke O'Nien for a long contract. Yes, we want Luke O'Nien, the guy who gives 110% no matter where he plays. No matter where he plays. He's come from Wigan, but he's put his roots down, yes, like that tree on my wall. At Sunderland, and hopefully we'll tie him down for a long contract, because we need more players who give everything, wear the heart and the sleeves, passion, pride, and he wants to do well. And to be fair, you know, he's not a defender, he's not a centre back, so he's doing a bloody good job for Sunderland, having to make up in a position where we're short. So yes, hopefully we'll tie him down. Hopefully we'll get 3 points against Swindon. And have you got the correct knowledge, sport and brain to get the correct score? Put it down below in the comment section for 10 points, and we'll get this chart updated. Yes, so there we go. That's a bit of news for Sunderland today. Not much to talk about. I'm a little bit, you know what it is. I kind of drowned in my sorrows yesterday. I was really disappointed yesterday. Really gutted. It was an emotional roller coaster of a ride, that match, and I just, if we get more of those games, we are not going to get promoted this season. That's the only. It's even a bit of taste in my mouth, it is. I mean, I just don't understand why. I know I did kind of come across and say it was kind of Lee Johnson's fault that Grant's injured, which is a bit silly to say, to be honest, because I mean, Grant's his own man. If Grant has a niggle, he should have said, look, I can't make the subs, boss. I need to rest this to make it better. But on the other side of things, the other toss of the coin, he got this injury against Ipswich, which was a while ago, and he's played ever since. And he started against Fleetwood and was bloody good against Fleetwood. So why didn't Grant Ledbetter start yesterday? For me, you make your own luck. You do, you make your own luck. Lee Johnson decided to leave him on the bench, which in the long run of things during the game, he came off, which alluded to get his injury because of the injury. Because I think if that match, if he'd started the game, different turn of events. You know, sometimes you go left rather than right, sometimes you go right rather than left, and you make your own luck. Now, if it's all ifs and buts, it's all hindsight, but if you'd started, that wouldn't have happened what happened. It might have happened at another point in his career, but exactly at that moment in time when he came off that bench and took that challenge and fell on the ground and rolled across the ground on his shoulders, giving 110% from the start, under pressure, needing to get back into the game, needing to find goals. So he was determined to get back, give 110%. He had the accident. If he'd started the match on a level keel, nils apiece, played him way into the game, I don't think Ledbetter would have been injured. But it's all ifs and buts. That's just life. That's what life, ups and downs in life. And now I'm just trying to pluck out reasons of why we didn't play well yesterday, and I'm just, like I say, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. We in this league, but hopefully Tuesday night I'll be cock-a-hoop, over the moon with a victory. That's all we need to do to make me happy, to make us happy, is to walk away with a victory. Right? Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm waffling on enough, and we'll see you later. Take care. I'll leave you just to have a look at that tree. Sowing the seeds of love, sowing the seeds of love. I don't know any of the songs with trees in it. Any trees? Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. Anybody out there knows the trees? Is it an oak tree? I don't know. What am I talking about? Right, see you later. Here we go, back again with another match review, and after yesterday's lucky 2-2 draw against Crewe, on Tuesday night we take on Swindon at home, and hopefully Lee Johnson's side can get back to a winning ways. I'm going for a 3-0 home victory. As you can see, I'm down the beach today. It's a beautiful day, sunshine, conditions are fantastic, no wind whatsoever. Hopefully Sunderland's challenge for the top 2 doesn't fall off the cliff and we'll keep on climbing up. And hopefully, yes, we can definitely get into the playoffs and definitely get into the top 2. But it's going to be a push. It's going to be a massive push to get in the top 2. We need to go now on a long winning run, a winning streak. And we need to drop Scowen if we need to do that. But now we don't have Ledbetter because he's been knocked out with an awful collarbone injury. We need to find somebody else in midfield. Does Winchester now step up to the plate? Because Scowen, for me, doesn't cut the mustard, doesn't do what he needs to do. For me, Scowen needs to be dropped to the bench and Winchester needs to start alongside Max Power.